Ini.
Ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay. This will be a video about spirit varnishing a violin, and I told you guys that I'd try to post something, so I got my daughter to help me with this, and I will show you how I do it. This may not be the right way, or I don't know, but it's how I do it, and it seems to work for me. Now, there's a few things that you have to remember. You always want to brush towards an edge and never away from it. If you brush away from it, you'll get a run. So you always want to brush toward an edge, and I'll show you as we go along here when we get the F holes and some of the other things. But this is pretty simple stuff here. Don, if you'll pardon the expression, it's not rocket science. I try not to do the sides of the peg box with too much varnish in the brush because you get runs around the holes if you're not careful. That's basically all there is to that side. We'll do this side. That white stuff that you see on there is pumice. This morning, I rubbed this fiddle out with pumice and water so that it'd have a matte finish on it, and it would show up easier on the camera. Now, when you're doing the ribs is probably the easiest part of the whole thing. You just load your brush and start in the middle and work your way out from both sides. Just like that. Pin back in. Drop your fiddle down here. And that's all there is to that rib. Done. Start on your C-bout ribs. The C-bout ribs are the hardest because you have to turn the thing upside down to get to them. Load your brush up a little more. Try not to load it up too much for the ribs because you can get it on too thick if you're not careful. You always want to start in the middle and pull the varnish from the middle out to the ends. Just like that. Now you'll see that once we get to the back and the top, this stuff here was pretty easy compared to doing the back and the top. They're a lot harder. But they're certainly not anything too difficult. And with spirit varnish, just keep moving. Don't stop and admire your work. You can do that once you got it all done. Always look and check around your rib corners and make sure that you don't have any runs or any puddles of varnish in there from dragging your brush across. Now this first brush was an inch brush. This is an 1.5-inch brush, I believe. Yeah, and those are the only two that I use. I don't use anything any smaller or anything any bigger. Now you want your brush good and loaded. Start in the middle and work your way out. Work the varnish out. And always work around it. Never go back and forth across it, because if you do, you'll get runs dripping down on your ribs. And you can see, you can go back. There's places where you can go back and touch things up here. I mean, it's not that difficult. Now, you lose hairs every once in a while. See this right here? There's a hair right here. That's where I got it. Yep. Don't worry if you got a little place, a little spot like that. That's not a big deal. Don't worry about the small stuff on this. There's another hair right out here. Slip your knife under it, pick it right up, just like that. That's all there is to it. Now, the hardest part of the whole thing is this, varnishing the top. And there's two reasons. One is the F-hole, and the other is because of the corduroy finish. The corduroy finish wants to pull the varnish out of the brush. So consequently, you get it on there thicker than you will on the back. And always, always, always brush towards the F-holes, never away from them. Always brush towards them. That way you don't get any runs, and you don't get any puddles around your F-holes. Now see, I had this brush loaded up good, but it's already empty. So now I gotta go back and load it up again. It just takes more for a top because of the finish. That corduroy finish just pulls the varnish right out of the brush. Now when it does that, one of the things that does is it'll make the top darker than the back. See? So what you have to do is you get the top the color you want, and then go ahead and put a couple extra coats on the back, and you get the back color evened up. Basically, it'll be the same exact amount of varnish. It's just you just have to do it in two different times. And that's all there is to it. It's done. And you can see I'm going back and touching up a few little places here and there where I might have missed a little spot or something. But usually I don't worry too much about missing the little spots, because the next time when you put the next coat on, it'll melt right in and it'll never show up. And that's all there is to it, guys. See a spot right here, guys. And there you are. Now, if I can get this thing on the internet. Ta-da.